This is Angela Barrios here. This video is sponsored by angelabarrios.com. You may find the link in the description below. Click like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications of new videos we load. I'll be watching for your comments, so hit like and share with us. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. This is Angela Barrios, your financial coach. And for those of you that are new to this kind of broadcast, just to know a little bit about me, I have been in the industry of real estate, investments, insurance, but mostly helping people through financial advice, through financial coaching, helping them get better into their finances. So thank you for being here. As we mentioned before, we were going to bring a few subjects to just bring value to your life, to add something of importance that's going to make 2021 the year in which you are actually going to get better, and the year that is going to mark the before and after in your life. So the subject that we announced for this week, that is also going to be shared in Spanish for Thursday. For those of you with Spanish-speaking friends, you can refer them to Thursdays at 8 o'clock on this same channel. This is also available on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And it's going to be available coming up on Facebook as well. So this subject that we announced was to produce more in less time, meaning effective productivity. And so I really want to share with all of you, I want to share a few tips about that subject, because I know we really want to get a lot of things done. So let me start by emphasizing the actual subject. So get more results in less time. That's what we say. Why? Because we do want to be productive. And I know when it comes up to the subject of productivity, many people think the production when I go to work, like the productivity during work time, the productivity when you have to like complete a task and get it done. That's in part what productive is about, but I'm talking about being productive overall in your life. So effective productivity matters because it's not just getting something done. It is getting your life done. So effective productivity pretty much is like doing more work or get more accomplished in less time. And that can be like a huge lifesaver, pretty much, because whether you work for a large corporation, maybe for a small business, or for yourself, maybe you're building your own team, you're building your own business, saving time and effort is kind of like a win-win for everyone that's involved. So you always have to think that your time, since you cannot make more of the time, we all have 24 hours, you have to make it that kind of a win-win. If you win, your team wins, your family wins, everybody around wins. So nobody else determines the use of that time but you. You are the one that actually decide what to do with that time. So if you want to use it in whatever way, you're always going to get the result of that whatever way that you chose. So you are going to focus this new year, or this year that we're already in pretty much for the month of January, with everything you've got, meaning that what you do time-wise and the productivity of it is going to serve the purpose of your boss, of your coworkers, of the leader in a team, of the teammates, the people in your organization, whatever the case may be. The whole point here is for you to understand that if you win with the focus of others to win as well, production is going to be so much more. Okay, so what you learn here, apply it with your people, with your team, with your coworkers, because that team environment when everybody is driven to one goal in productivity, just makes so much more. So for the majority of people, productivity is kind of like an individual experience. So you have to tailor this experience accordingly to your goals, to your wishes, to what you want to accomplish. So there is no really recipe. If you go online and you search for different ways to get more done in less time, you're gonna get tons and tons of advice. But I have done a lot of research on this, and a few years ago, I decided that instead of like letting life happen, I was going to drive the calendar. So, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And so one of the things that you have to be very focused on is in the habit you have daily, because that's going to distill into your daily activities, and that will play into the big pictures of the saving time and produce the best results for everyone. And remember, you allow others and you drive others to win, you also win. I'm a big believer of a win-win. We're a team. Okay, so I'm going to share with you one of the ways, and probably you've heard this, but most people tend to forget. So if you're taking a pen and paper, just go ahead and write this. Test batching. That's kind of like, you know what a batch is, right? So time batching is a productivity system that helps people to focus on a group, kind of like putting all similar activities together for a period of time, allowing no interruption. So what's going to happen is, instead of you going to work out and then now you're trying to read the emails, but then you're going to jump into answering some questions or calling some people, you have to concentrate similar tasks during a certain period of time, because that's going to allow you to achieve more in less. We're going to talk about interruptions as well in a little bit. So batching time helps minimize distraction. Why? Because once you decide that between a certain time and a certain time you are going to be X, Y, or Z, and you just focus on getting that done, then less interruptions are going to happen. Maybe not at the beginning. Believe me, once you start putting this batching into practice, at the beginning is a sort of like a more communication situation with the rest. But once you get into the habit of using this kind of like time batching, is going to help you tremendously. So one thing is very, very common among this is kind of like a group, whatever the task that you got to do, according to a theme, right? If it's, let's just say, clean up your email or answer your emails in general, and you handle 2-3 different emails, then that's exactly what you're going to be doing for a certain period of time. And you have to make sure that if you are not good in watching the clock, then you're going to have to set an alarm. Set an alarm is going to let you know when you need to stop. Okay? Now, I am not talking of long periods of times. You also need to take a break, and we are going to be talking also about taking a break or interrupting your your productivity, because you also need to kind of like breathe, take breaks, and why not. So theming helps to craft a group of to-dos all together based on either the type of activity. For instance, if you are the kind of person that's filming videos or editing videos, or, well, you gotta do that at a certain time. You can't be filming now, then filming later. They're trying to edit, then go film again. You just gotta put that into a section. So you are concentrated in one activity of a similar activity with the subject that you're trying to accomplish. If you are the kind that writes, because let's just say you're in a project of writing a book or whatever it is, an essay for the school, whatever it is that you got to do, then just gather everything that has to do with that, batch that into a time, like from this time to this time, this is what you're going to be doing, and just dedicate yourself indivisible attention to it. Why? Because the minute you start checking social media, and then the next email that started, that got into your inbox, and the phone call that came in, and the text message, now the time flies. You get all distracted. By the time you finish, or by the time you're supposed to be done with it, you're gonna feel very unaccomplished. So you have to make sure that you yourself, right, be a man and a woman of your word, and just say, between this and that time, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Also, it's important to use energy, like energy levels, meaning that if you are not good to read stuff or like research stuff in the afternoon because you're at a 0 level of energy at that time, don't do that. You're gonna have to really look into your calendar and decide at which time you need to do certain activities. This is no longer this new decade, and after the situation we've lived this past year, we are no longer subject to a certain kinds of a schedule. That is for sure. We are just not. So take advantage so you can relocate activities according to your level of energy. I'll give you an example. I love working out in the morning. I love to do that. I'm an early riser. I have found after years and years that is the time in which I get most accomplished. Now, my afternoons are a different story. So I have grouped my activities according to my energy levels. It works for me. You can try that. It's really simple. Also, this has a lot to do with how much you know yourself. So you have to learn, like if you're not an early riser and you're the kind of night owl, many people are like that. I don't have nothing against that. You go to sleep really late, so then utilize the time accordingly. And if you go to sleep really, really late, then you're going to be sleeping between, 2 o'clock in the morning to like 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But you can, it's 24 hours. It's the same 24 hours we all have. So it depends on you. Now, I'm going to bring you a tip, because on this energy management, as opposed to time management, when it comes up to energy, energy management forces you to think of results as a function of energy, not time invested. So it's like, if you're not good to work out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, don't do it, because it's gonna feel like it's a forever task to accomplish. You're just not gonna enjoy it. So you have to know when is the best time for you to actually invest that energy into yourself and say, okay, so you know what, my workout time is 8 o'clock at night, or an hour before going to sleep. It depends on your energy level. You have to know yourself at that point. So it's very important. Working intensely for a short period of time can accomplish more than just working for days and days on something. So many people just spend days trying to do something, as opposed to just batching or putting everything in a block to just concentrate time and energy and focus and get it done. So with the days, you get tired, you get distracted, and that's when the project starts falling behind, and then you feel like you have a lot of things to accomplish that you have not done yet. So imagine that. And I see Duarte over there, so thank you, Duarte, for being with us. Long time no see. Another way actually for effective productivity that I've seen out there is the chunking. Another approach on the task management. This concept is kind of like, it's called chunking. It's kind of like breaking up your day into larger chunks instead of reacting to constant interruptions. It looks a lot like the other one I mentioned, like the dimming. So you have to do a little bit more research to see which one fits you. So all I'm giving you today is ways to produce more in less time. That is a subject that I brought for today. And you just gotta apply the one that best fits you. Most likely, a lot of people might tell you, this is the best way. I can tell you which is my best way, but I have tried several ways. And it took me a little time to kind of like find the one that actually fits me best. Now, I do have a combination of a few of the ones that I'm sharing with you. But the main thing that all these systems have in common is simply a calendar. Oh, yes, I know you gotta build a calendar, so people are not built like that. But if you really want to be effective, that's the word, producing life, I'm talking about producing more time for yourself. I'm talking about getting more things done. As a woman as well, I can tell you that there's a lot of things that cross my mind at one time, all the time. So even becoming more disciplined and responsible about what I'm thinking is part of the management and effective productivity. So yes, you do have to build some sort of a calendar. Now, if you don't do it, it's okay, because it's really up to you whatever you want to accomplish. When you don't know what you are going to do the next hour, what's going to happen is that by Parkinson law, and you can look it up, time is going to be filled with something. Something is going to show up on your day, on your hour, and on your minute that is going to keep you busy. And for many people, that feels more like, at the end of the day, I'm very tired and I feel I did a lot of things. Why? Because when you feel like that, you did not accomplish anything. Usually when you have a schedule, it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. It just means that you have kind of like you have a house, like a house light, you know where you're heading, you know exactly what to do the next hour, you know what to expect. So when things come along as a surprise to you, they are not as much as a surprise as they're supposed to. Why? Because your time to react, you really have more of it because you're more prepared. So yes, building a calendar. So that's step number one into managing time and being more effective in production. Because again, and I said manage time, but in reality it's impossible to manage time because we all have 24 hours. And if you just try to keep on thinking of managing time, it's difficult. So it's just getting things accomplished in less time. So let's and this is my biggest advice that I can give you today, that I can share of how things are more simplified in my life. Take a calendar. I don't know if you use paper. I don't know if you like Google Calendar. I love Google Calendar. The other people have different other apps. The whole point is it's a calendar that allows you to see 24 hours of the day and 7 days of a week, and a calendar system that allows you to build a 1 week that is going to be the ideal week, let's just say. Okay, so all you need is a calendar. I do it on Google, and this is going to be displayed on my YouTube channel more visually, but I do it on Google Calendar. And all I did was to take one calendar that's called my effective productivity calendar. Okay, and I created a whole ideal week, the hours in which I want to sleep. And with this, I'm saying this is not the calendar of things that you are going to do. No, this is the calendar, the ideal calendar of how your life will look on a whole week, 24/7 of 1 week. And that's going to be your model. Meaning that, let's just say, wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and at 5:30 you do your, let me say, devotional, meditation, reading, whatever it is that you choose at that time. And you're gonna do it consistently. And you're gonna add into that calendar your workout time, Actually, there is a workshop that I will highly suggest you to take with me, which is driven to these kinds of things, the 5 areas in which you should set up goals for your life, because they do work. So basically, in that calendar, you're going to schedule these 5 areas accordingly. Family and friends. Why? Because time with family, time with friends, relations, that's extremely important. Now, you don't have to spend an entire day, all like every day doing that, but time with family and friends gotta be scheduled. Your finances and your business. What do I mean by that? When do you supposed to pay things? How much you supposed to pay for each? What are the balances of your things? If you don't know where you're standing as far as your finances, chances are you're going to fail. I also invite you, and I might leave you the link on the next workshop as far as getting those tasks accomplished, getting the finances aligned to your purpose. Fitness is another area. Yeah, fitness is another area, because taking care of your body is extremely important. Nowadays, it's much more so. So you gotta get yourself in shape. This is a matter of health, and this is what you got. This is what you got, so you can live your life. The other area is faith. Call it a spirituality if you want. And you also have to schedule that. You have to have some goals, but you also have to schedule that in your calendar. What do you mean, Angela? Well, maybe you just need to meditate a little more, because a quiet mind, brings a lot of ideas. Less is always more. Also, the area of fun and self-development. Fun, yes, you do have to schedule fun, because what is life without having fun? So super important. Also, self-development, a set of skills that you lack. I'll give you an example. Those are things that you got to schedule in your calendar. Self-development, an area, every day an hour or two, every day 45 minutes to an hour, every day 15 minutes, whatever it is that you can get in. The amount of time that you're going to invest in developing yourself is equivalent to the productivity you're going to see in December this year. Believe me. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you want to be successful as well in this area and get more productivity accomplished, you definitely gonna have to allocate some time, some quiet time, and look at your life and decide which direction you are going to take. And with that, you're gonna have to decide at which levels you're gonna have to grow. There's some skill sets, to say in general, that you're gonna have to acquire. Maybe you wanna grow a team, but you're not the best leader. Maybe you need to retain more people in your team, because you do get a lot of people in, but nobody stays. Maybe you just gotta get out of debt. Maybe you just gotta save more. Maybe you just gotta get a house. Whatever it is, maybe you just gotta get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a relationship going, or whatever it is, you have to grow. It's a skill set. It's a skill set. Oh, I have no friends. I talk to nobody. And nowadays, you do need that skill set. So you're gonna have to learn to talk to people. You're gonna have to learn to approach people, to prospect people in your life for different things, even to get a job. That's a skill set. And if you don't know how to overcome that, there's just, I don't know. This is not go online and get the top book on the subject and get it and read it and dedicate more time, learn more of that, and you're gonna see a result. If it's time management, learn more about that. If it's productivity, learn more about that. Okay, but you got to do it. So getting a calendar done, a specific week, this is the way I want my week to look like. This is just going to be kind of like the map, the GPS that's going to allow you to what? Every time something gets scheduled, you know where exactly to put that thing at. If my appointments with clients are between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., then I'm not going to give a time to a new client or a repetitive client at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, because I have already decided that my calendar is going to look like that. So I am going to work around what I said I am going to do. Can there be exceptions? Of course, there are going to be exceptions. Sometimes I just break the rule because it is important. It's a great cause for which I am going to break my rules. But what I'm saying is I am in control of that, and I know the outcome of it for sure. With this being said, since step number one is building that specific week, step number two is also work the reverse engineer of your calendar. What is that, Angela? Well, you gotta make others fit your schedule, because everybody has one. So if you do have a schedule, if you do have a week, if you know exactly how the week supposed to look like, when people tell you that they ask you for time, then you'll know where exactly to allow them to get involved with you in your time. So as humanly as it is possible, of course. So that way you don't work around people's time in a disorganized way, but you actually communicate the possibilities. And believe me, if you have your calendar set, the other people, whether they do or not, it doesn't matter to you. What matters is that you are set with yours, and they will work with you accordingly. So that's the two rules here on this game of the calendar that makes time management so effective. Now, when it comes up to meetings, this is one subject that I've talked about with many different people, because meetings are meetings. Throughout more than 20 years of developing jobs and businesses and teams and other situations and tasks and groups, organizations and such, there's always a meeting. There is always a meeting. So meetings are the easiest way to waste time, believe it or not. Because just think about it. How many meetings do you remember that you can actually write down right now all the content of it? Oh, this is what happened in the meeting. They talked about this, then it was that, this was the subject, this was the outcome. More times than not, meetings, in general, meetings are tend to be messy, unorganized, and meetings are pretty much for the sake of the attendance and the discussion of the doing element of work. It's kind of like we get together and this is work and this is what we're supposed to be doing, and it's kind of like getting together. So when it comes up to that, if you are a leader in your organization, if you are the leader of your own organization, if you have people that you have to supervise or manage or lead in general, this is very important. You can choose when to do those meetings according to your energy, as I mentioned before, the time in which you have the best energy, and according to a very effective, why are we doing this meeting? Why are we having this meeting for? And if the subject or the task, the focus of the meeting is gonna be a waste of time, don't have it, don't attend, excuse yourself. And I give you a piece of advice. If you're in an organization like nowadays, especially for millennials, they're always like in meetings every other time. They have a meeting for this, a meeting for that, and a meeting for the rest. Don't shy away from just asking the organizers, what is the focus of the meeting? Because if it has absolutely nothing to do, and I'm sorry for the connection a minute ago, if it has nothing to do with what you're supposed to accomplish, excuse yourself, because you gotta be effectively productive. Just say it like that. Nobody's going to get angry at you because you do that. If you're going to waste an hour of your time on talks that do not bring your productivity forward, just skip that. You can definitely do that. Reduce the amount of meetings. So meetings sometimes are a waste. So think about that. So that was just a little bit of, kind of like how to avoid unnecessary meetings going forward. Put it into practice. Be polite, always educated. Address the situation with the best of you. But always making sure that you communicate to the other people how important the time is to you. Nobody cares about your time more than yourself. And if you don't express this to other people, if you don't let people know, if I have an appointment with a client and I did everything I was supposed to do, for example, and I contacted my client at the appropriate time, I did a follow-up and I send a reminder in all the ways that I do, text message, email, etc. And my client didn't excuse and miss the appointment. I am very straightforward. And with all the respect I will communicate, first of all, that I am very concerned that the person missed, but second of all, how important was my time, that unless it was an emergency, that I really was expecting the person to communicate. But guess what? I always have that conversation from the front. And I always tell the person, we're going to schedule this, please. My time is extremely important as it is yours. If there is something in the middle that shows up, please send me a text message or call me. That's so important. Just the fact that you tell the person how you drive your time, how your time is important, is going to create more space for you to produce more effectively. So as you can see, effective productivity also has to do with communication. Now, there is one more or another method, very well discussed in many different environments nowadays, and I've known of this for a long time, and it's called the Pomodoro timing. Right? It's a way. This is to get a specific. This is to get specific with your time. That is the system, the Pomodoro timing. It's just, I'm gonna get a specific task driven in a certain amount of time, I get it done. So Pomodoro timers are one of the best ways to increase the quality of your work sessions, and it saves a lot of your time long run. This method is very simple. So you just gotta set the time for 25 minutes at a time. Focus very intensively on a task that will take no longer than those 25 minutes. So with that being said, you're gonna need a device that lets you know when it's done. So if you start at 9:25, you're done. You're gonna take 5 minutes break, and then you're gonna come back and do the same for another 25 minutes. And then you're gonna take a break of 5 minutes. Then you're gonna do it 2 more times, and then you're gonna take a 30 minutes of break. As simple as that. And you get so much accomplished, you have no idea. So 25 minutes and 5 off, again, it's just 4 times in a row, and then you're gonna give yourself 30 minutes, kind of like the lunch break. And then you repeat it again. Now the indivisible attention that you give to whatever task you are accomplishing during the 25 minutes require that you get to be very disciplined also with the managing of your devices. If you have all your applications in your phone ringing constantly, every time somebody sends you a telegram, every time somebody sends you a WhatsApp, meaning shut off the notifications. You don't need the notifications. Definitely not. Because if you do dedicate a time in your calendar that I mentioned before, and for those, thank you, Alejandra, for being here with us. I was actually thinking of you today, by the way. Hi, Pastor. Hi, Pastor Joe. Um, just go to my YouTube channel and you're gonna get the entire information here that I'm sharing. So I'm sharing here the production, the effective productivity, or produce more in less time. And I already talked about two more subjects that you can use to do that. And we just talked about the Pomodoro timing as well. So this Pomodoro timing has been very effective for a lot of people. And what you gotta do is just put it into your schedule. If if this doesn't fit, for instance, seeing clients, you're just not gonna do this with clients, because with clients you might, for instance, in my case, I need about 40 minutes to an hour. So I am not going to use this Pomodoro timing when I'm in appointments with clients. I'm going to use it for other things, like what? Garbage. What is garbage? Checking all the emails, getting all the paperwork done, trying to put things together, organizing ideas, writing up the next subject, developing the next. That's when the Pomodoro timing system works. That's when it works. So you have to be very intentional about all this. And just like I said at the beginning, this is not about working hard. It's about doing things in a smart way. We have so many tools today. You just gotta find the ones that are attuned with yourself and apply them. You're not gonna be perfect since the very first time. You just gotta start doing it. Clock is ticking and we're almost at the end of January. I don't know you, but on my side, accomplishment looks this big. We have done great results. Why? Because we took some time before the year was over and we set the goals and we organized every single piece. And just as a reminder, there is a workshop coming up as far as, goal setting is concerned and really hitting those targets. There are things coming up. Workshops are going to come out this year more often because, people are requesting. I am going to be able to have them available. So look for the information. You can always go to my website and get more information there, or you can send me a DM and I'll give you more information about it. Now, another way to produce more in less time. Downsize email time. I was just talking about it. Downsize email time. Look, nowadays we communicate via email with everybody. It's a backup system for information. Before, you used to call somebody, communicate via phone, then text message came along. Before, when it was the phone, you had to, take a pen and paper and write things. But now, everything is tied to the email. And I know people that have 5, 6, or 7 emails and they cannot keep up with them. So you're gonna have to either close some of them down, reduce, because if you are not the organized type and you need to have a more effective way, then you're gonna have to either forward emails into one. You gotta find a system. You gotta find a system and downsize email time. When you're working in a regular job and the email is open and you check the email every time it comes into your inbox, it takes so much time of you that it makes you feel so tired at the end of the day. Because the first thing that email says is, I need you to take care of me, Angela. I need you to take care of me. Do it now. If you are not the procrastinator, if you are the let's get it done now, of course it's going to take that time immediately. So it's going to feel like a lot of pressure because there's so many emails coming out at once. So my suggestion, when email is our one most used tool of the day, is just set a time so you can actually check your email and then use the Pomodoro timing 4 to 5 times per day. So you open, I did this very, very successfully, managing a super multi-million-dollar building, okay? I will get there very early, first thing, open my email, and for the first 25 minutes, checking that email, taking care of everything up to a point. From there on, other tasks, and then I will come back at another time at 11 in the morning to check again. And so 4 to 5 times the most of the day. So you can check email when you are in a job environment or in a task-oriented situation or place in which you and your email gotta be together. Because that way it gives you time for other things like meetings, like projects, like things you gotta address, and people, you have to address people too. So that's extremely important. Go deep into this because email and social media, just like this time I'm spending over here, email and social media are big eaters of your time. So if you are the one checking the social media constantly and you are a business owner or you have projects in your hand, you are doing yourself a disservice. So organize your time and make sure you do those things. Personal emails at the end of the night is just 20-30 minutes so you can do your personal things. If you have used a calendar and allocate time to do that every other day, you can actually be up to date with all your emails. It doesn't have to be as soon as it comes into your inbox. Just like calling clients, you're gonna call clients. You don't call clients as soon as they call you. You have a time of the day in which you return calls. If you have people that you manage or that you lead, they cannot be knocking on your door every time. You're going to communicate to them and let them know at which time you are going to be available for questions, for dissipating doubts, for explaining anything. You have to communicate. Communication is it's a key in order to lead. Very, very important. So we're almost about to finish, and I'd like to recap a little bit pretty much of what I brought in, and it was the effective productivity. This is not about managing time. It's about being effective and producing in a focused manner. So you have time and you feel like the life is really in you. It feels like you have time to spend time with family, with friends, to dedicate time to work out, to all those areas that I mentioned before, to develop yourself, to increase your skill sets. You have to. If you plan to grow, for instance, if you plan to grow in an organization and you're supposed to fundraise money for a project and you don't know how to fundraise money, you've never done it. So you're going to have to go read, take a course, enroll yourself in some sort of environment or group that is going to elevate your knowledge. You just cannot pretend just to do it. Yes, do it. But you got to grow along the line. The one thing that I will ask you not to do is learn first and then do later. You can do and learn at the same time. You can do and learn. It's like the jockey and the horse. The horse doesn't go by itself, and the jockey cannot ride if he has no horse. So then both go together like a team, and you can always do and learn at the same time. There's no such a thing like I go do without knowing, or I just gotta know first in order to do. Then both go together. They're a family. They hug each other. They go together. So just in summary here, for you guys, and I thank you, all of you, for staying here with me. One more time, if you want to get this video, not only stays here on the Instagram account at your disposition to play and share. Thank you for any comment that you make there. Any questions that you want to ask is also well received. If you want to know more about the workshops coming up, or the series that I'm going to be delivering soon, you can send me a DM. But this information also stays in my YouTube channel. So you can go there, you can share it. Every Thursday, this same information is provided for Spanish speakers. So if you have other people that you want to share this information with and they don't speak English, not a problem whatsoever. Thursday, 8 p.m. Every single week, I'm bringing one specific subject for Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays is always English, Thursdays always Spanish. In addition, this is what you're going to expect. You're going to be seeing heavy hitters that I am going to interview for the year. Every single week, you are going to hear from heavy hitters, women and men in different areas of society that have made it very, very big. They are hitting big numbers. They are doing great things for society. They are doing great things, great impact they're causing in community. And everything is tied up to how they live their lives and the impact finances have in their life, in which they can actually develop all the activities that they want. They become very creative, very, very creative, because they are attuned with themselves. They have very clear their goal sets and the things that they want to accomplish for this year. Okay, you can have big goals, but if you don't know how to effectively produce in a certain period of time, what's going to happen for you is that at the end of this year, when you're counting down the minutes for the new year 2022, you're going to be looking back saying, oh, I said I was going to work out and lose the weight. Oh, I said I was going to save more money. Oh, I said I was going to buy a house. I said I was going to travel. And none of those things you did. You know why? Because you didn't took the time just to exercise your will over the time that God gave to all of us. 24 hours of one day, we all have the same. And wait for some postings I'm going to be throwing out there about what separates rich people from poor people. And also it's coming up on my book very soon. It's in the making. We're going to be talking about that book. It's inspired by very, very, very important people in my life. So just to recap, the things that you guys must practice, what we must practice in general: working smart beats working hard. Okay. Number 2, what gets scheduled gets done. What gets scheduled gets done, you guys. I cannot stress this enough. What gets scheduled gets done. You don't need more time to do more things. That's just in your mind. You don't need more time to do things. You just need to find the right way, the right system for you to be more effective with the time we all have. You need to find quiet time to organize yourself. There's not such a thing like you're going and going and going and going. You have to stop. You have to take a sabbatical, Shabbat, one day off, unplug, no cell phones, no nothing. You need one time away from society in general, because that one time is that one day, those hours are going to create the difference. So find quiet time to organize yourself. It's going to help you say to yourself, to ask yourself the questions: what did I do in the past week that moved my goals forward? Or why didn't I do that make me stagnant right here? What should I change? And write it down, make a new whole game, and go play the game. Go play the game of life. Okay, don't get frozen there. Don't get stagnant. Number 5, have an ideal calendar and schedule everything. Like I mentioned before, you need to know what you are doing every moment of your day. And for you to be effective and productive, just choose a system that works well with your own self, with your energy levels and everything throughout the day. And all distractions. If a friend, a cousin, listen, all those people, love them, pray for them, love them, embrace them, but you don't have to spend time with them, because if they don't help you move forward, you just gotta love them, from time to time, get in contact with them, but use your time wisely. Sometimes you know what you gotta do? Disengage from their Facebook account, disengage from their Instagram account. You don't have to block them from your phone, of course not, but you just gotta stop watching things you don't need to watch, talking of things you don't need to talk. And number 7 and last, just for me to leave now, communicate with your family, communicate with your teams, communicate with your spouse, your significant other, communicate with everybody that's important and that's part of your organization, your life, that's part of you. And let them know the ways in which you are going to be handle your agenda, your calendar, your days, your time. Communicate with love. Let them know, because if they don't know, they'll be interrupting you. Listen, the children, I have children. They are part of my life. I love them in my life. But they know when I'm busy, when I'm doing something, I'm doing something. But when I'm not, and it's time for them, it's time for them. And I uphold that promise, and I don't sell my word for nothing in the world. So with that being said, thank you so much for being with me. Again, all my information right there on my account on Instagram. If you want this information, you can go ahead on YouTube, and it's going to be right there in a few minutes as well. And expect this simultaneously on all platforms coming up for next week, and share with others for Thursday. Produce more in less time, effective productivity. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful